shop just outside of Kennesaw here in North Georgia. Today's project is this Empire Revival style chest of drawers. It's probably from the 40s, maybe the early 30s, maybe 1930s. It's not in bad shape. Construction-wise, it's in great shape. It has some finish issues. I'm going to redo the top and then probably just refresh the finish on the rest of the piece. The first thing you'll notice about this piece is the gorgeous tones in the color. That's probably, I believe, to be from age, exposure to light. You see how the corners are nice and dark and the field is lighter. And as we come around, you can see that we have fluted columns that go all the way down to the legs. And we've got some finish issues here. We've got a gigantic scratch on this drawer here that's going to have to be addressed. But really, you know, most of this can just be refreshed, as you've seen me do in the past. Same thing on the side. We've got some scratches and some worn finish, but nothing that can't be taken care of. There's a little veneer chipping there. The big issue for this is the top, and you can see the top is fairly significantly worn with deep scratches. And if you take a look right here, you'll see where the finish has alligatored and blistered up, and really that's the kiss of death for a refreshing job. We're going to have to take this finish off, sand this top, and then restain it. Because this top and this entire piece is finished in a smooth finish, in other words, mahogany is a pitted wood. It has pretty heavy grain structure, just like walnut and oak. You don't see that through the finish because the wood was grain filled before the finish was applied. And when we take this off, we may have to do a grain fill on it before we top coat it, and that'll be something that'll be new and interesting for you to see. Top's all stripped. Took 2 coats of stripper, and then I wiped it off with lacquer thinner, and then neutralized it with a wet rag. It's just drying now. If you take a look at the top from the back, you can see that although the substrate is solid wood, it's not mahogany. You can see the veneer line right there. The other way you can check for veneer is to find a piece of grain on the surface like this here, and if it doesn't run through the piece on the side, you can suspect it's veneer. What I believe this is a solid wood base with mahogany moldings applied, and then they veneered over top of it. So it's good to know when we go to sand it. I'm not going to hit this with a power sander. Obviously, we're just going to light sand it. Give you a little background on grain fill. This is what I'm going to use here, and this is Balin's. I guess Mohawk sells Balin, or they're the same thing. This is a water-based grain filler in neutral. Now there's 2 types of grain fillers. There's water-based and there's solvent-based or oil-based. The water-based goes directly on the wood and then you stain over it. The oil-based, you usually apply a color, then your seal coat, and then your grain fill goes on top of that, and then another seal coat, and then your top coats. Oil-based grain filler takes usually 24 hours per coat to dry. It may take as many as 3 coats. That's 3 days worth of shop time, drying shop time. I try to avoid that if I can, particularly on flips. So we're going to use the water base. Basically what this will be done is, this is a real thick goopy stuff. We'll water it down so it's the consistency of maybe yogurt, and we'll apply it to the top and work it into the grain pits with a spatula, and then wipe it off as best we can. We'll leave it for a couple hours to dry, come back, sand it, take a look at it. If it needs a second coat, we'll repeat it, and then once that's done, we'll apply our stain and start to finish the top. Sanding for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I hope the camera is able to pick this up for you, because it's kind of important. But hopefully you can see where the white is now has filled in the open grain structure, particularly like right here on the edge where this grain is highlighted. You can see that. You can see right here where little pits and chips have been filled in, so they're nice and smooth now too. But the other thing that you have to do before you finish is get the grain filler off the face of the wood. Otherwise you're just going to choke out your grain and it's going to look horrible. So this part I haven't got completely done yet, and you can see the difference. This is on the surface, this is just in the grain. So you want to sand with the grain till you get to this point here where you've got wood with white inside the grain and nothing else. You don't want any of this, because if you put finish on this, it's going to look just terrible. So hopefully this has helped you understand how we sand and what it accomplishes. But right there is exactly what you're looking for. Nice flat surface, and that'll accept this stain. So I'll finish sanding that part so it all looks like this part, and then we will mix up some stain, get the stain applied. When the stain dries, we'll shoot a coat of sealer on it, and that'll be it for this video, and then I'll finish lacquering and everything when I do the rest of the case. Hi, I brought you in to give you kind of an idea of what I'm aiming for color-wise here. I'll put you up against the white background. This is a brown maple stain, which actually isn't too far off of what we're looking for. This here is a dark mahogany, it's too purple when that's out, and this here is a medium brown walnut, and that's just too deep dark brown. So going back to this brown maple, I diluted it 50-50 with naphtha, and that gives me this color here. And then I added a few drops of trans tint red, and that gives me this color here.
Now this is on a piece of Luan plywood. Luan is not mahogany, but it's a tropical hardwood, and it'll give us a fairly good idea. I just don't have a piece of mahogany to stain. But when we put this up against here, you see as a base color, I think we're going to be pretty close. And I'll shoot the red on top of this using toners. So I think, sitting back again, look at the light colors, and then look at that, and I don't think we're really very far off. So I may play around with this a little bit more, but I'm getting kind of close to the base wiping stain color. And again, it's going to be lighter, and it's not going to be as red. I'll shoot that color on with a lacquer gun. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a little bit about grain filling. Honestly, the grain filler didn't take the stain as well as I would have liked, so we've got some light spots. But again, I'll just touch those up with color as I go through the refinishing or the finishing process. After this dries, I'll light sand it. I'll shoot a second coat of sealer, and that's going to be it for the top until I do the case. The case is going to get refreshed just like I refreshed the ribbon mahogany chest of drawers. If you're interested in that process, look at that video. I'll put a link once I get this uploaded to YouTube that'll get you right to that video, and you can see that process. But basically it just involves cleaning and wet sanding and glazing, and then shooting a coat of lacquer over everything. And that'll bring it all right back. But again, the reason we didn't do the case was because of the patina that we enjoyed, the colors. I don't want to remove the colors, so we had to take the color off of this. So we're going to match the finish, and then we'll match the color when I spray on the lacquer. And you'd see me color with lacquer toner over and over in a number of my videos. And we'll get this color, which is already very close, exactly like the drawers, and maybe even darken up some corners here and there and get a little bit artsy with it. But it'll be beautiful. This piece is going to be gorgeous when it's done. I hope somebody wants it. Antiques and vintage furniture aren't selling very well right now, but this piece is gorgeous and it needed to be saved. So listen, thanks for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about grain filling. You learn the difference between oil-based grain filler and water-based grain filler, when we use it and how we use it. and the fact that the water-based grain filler is something that you can do fairly quickly. I started this project this morning, it's now the afternoon, and we're done with this part of it. If I used oil-based grain filler, it would have been 3 days. But anyways, there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Stick around for more videos. If you like what you see, subscribe to my channel, like, comment, talk to your friends. I enjoy making these videos. My production facilities aren't the greatest, but as long as people are watching and people are learning, I'll keep cranking them out. So thanks very much. Best regards from just outside of Kennesaw, Georgia, here in North Georgia, and we'll see you next video.